time for another episode of Talking with Topher. This is episode 270. It is June 5th, 2025. And as always, I am so happy to be alive. Before we get into anything today, let me start off the way I always do by saying thank you. Thank you to all of my subscribers. You're what keeps me coming back week after week. If you're new or just stopping by or checking out the podcast, remember to subscribe. All right. If you want your opportunity to be a guest and tell your story, send an email over to talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. Send an audio, video, or type it out. The link tree. It's in the description below the video. It's where you're going to find all the links that are discussed in this podcast today. You can go and check them out, come up with your own theory, because why? This is all for entertainment purposes only, everybody. We're just having some fun. We're talking about a lot of stuff that's going on. Some of it may be true. Some of it may be entertainment. But hey, it's all for entertainment purposes today, all right? And now with all that out of the way, let me get started. We're going to have some fun. Hold on. I'll be right back. All right. And I'm back, everybody. This is Lana. Hi, Lana. Say hi to everybody. Yep. So this is our new puppy, Lana. And I figured I'd start the podcast out all cute and cuddly. Look at her. She's adorable. She doesn't know why she's here. Anyways, I wanted everybody to meet Lana. So here she is. And I'll be right back. All right, and I'm back, everybody. So that was Lana. I figured I'd bring her up on camera. It's always a fun way to start the episode. You know what I mean? Nothing brightens my day more than puppy love. Puppy love. You know, it's better than young love. That's for sure. Young love is messy, isn't it? Super messy. I remember being in love when I was young. And my parents told me, hey, she's no good for you. And I threw a fit, everybody, a fit. You ever done that? That young first love you have, you're so excited to probably go to, like, I don't even know if they do it anymore, like school dances. That used to be a thing. I don't know if it's a thing anymore, but it used to be something very exciting when we were kids. And yeah, man, my parents were right, everybody. They were right. I'm very happy that they made the decisions for me that they made when I was younger, because, yeah, I probably would have been even more miserable than I already am today. And I'm not miserable because of the decisions that they made. I'm a little bit miserable because I'm not exactly where I wanted to be when I thought I was going to be this age. But my parents making those decisions for me when I was younger turned out to be the proper decisions. Anytime they told me to stay away from anybody, anytime they told me not to hang out with these people, you know, ripped our young hearts apart, you know. It's like they knew. It's like they knew, because they do. They know, you know, we know. Unfortunately, we do know what's best for you. Yeah. But puppy love. Now, puppy love. Now, that is real love right there, everybody. Oh, man, she brightens my day, except for when she pees and poops in the house. We're working on that, though. She's only 3 months old, so we're getting there. Let's get into what's going on today, though. Today, we've got A23A, everybody. A23A. Do you know what this is? Do you know about this iceberg? Because I have got one hell of an article here. This thing is crazy. It is the largest or biggest iceberg as it drifts towards oblivion. Now, why am I bringing this up again? Because this is very interesting. They are tracking its movement and its melting procedure. But you can see on the camera here, I didn't realize how big this thing is. So the iceberg is actually 38 square kilometers, which is 1,500 square miles, everybody. That thing is massive. I never realized how big it was, I guess. Antarctica, this thing broke away from the coastline back in 1986. For more than 30 years. It was stuck in the sea, a static island. Let's see. It anchored in place. So it has traveled, you can see, from the middle of Antarctica, and now it's made its way up. I guess this is called Iceberg Alley. This is where most of the icebergs go. They break off and then they float up in this direction. So right here, you can actually see a video of it. Let me shrink this a little bit. There we go. So if I shrink that a little bit, you can actually see the whole thing. And you can see the iceberg where it was moving, and then when it got stuck right around here, and then it finally broke free and moved its way up. And this is over the course of 2 years, it looks like. Yeah, that was April of 24, so it's been a year now, so it's moved even further. Every day, large chunks are falling off into the sea. This is actual close-up. I think where my pointer is, that is the iceberg back there. I think this is this is what it broke off from, maybe. I could be completely and absolutely wrong. This could be the whole entire iceberg that I'm looking at. Let's see here. Yeah, A23A is surrounding itself with an armada of offcuts of football pitched sized Bergie bites and Lordy sized growlers, whatever that means. If you know what that means, write a comment. Let me know what it means. So here we go. A little bit more. Iceberg typically travel north towards south of Georgia. They're pushed by currents. These are the currents. South Georgia. See, I thought we were talking about Georgia in the United States. That's Georgia, the what, country? Oh. Huh. All right. Just learned something new. Okay, so this is the entire iceberg here. So you can get more of a look of how massive it is compared to, I don't know, what is this, like a freight ship? Even sailing right up to its 30-millimeter high cliff face wouldn't really let you grasp its scale. No more than standing in front of the facade of Buckingham Palace would let you gauge the size of London. So the iceberg A23A could barely fit in the English Channel. That's Greater London there. And then they took this thing and look it. These are all the countries or continents or whatever that are roughly the same size and or smaller than it, which is crazy. This thing is massive, everybody. They're cutting, the energetic waves are cutting the berg's walls, sculpting enormous caves and arches, which are collapsing. Buoyancy is then forcing these terrace up the surface, ripping it away from the edges of the berg. I mean, this thing is so massive. So this right here is the breakdown of the icebergs as they travel north. Warmer air, warmer waters. Warmer air creates ponds of melting. The ponds that melt create fissures. The warmer waters melt away near the water line. And then the fissures go down. The melting erosion cuts. The buoyancy forces. And then the thing just crumbles. And in its final days, numerous fragments will melt away into nothing. Now, I don't know. Man, that thing is massive, huh? And it's just melting and breaking away. This is the caves that it creates. Oh, wow. Look at the killer whales. So cool, huh? So what's this picture? Places in the world where you can physically touch the past activity of icebergs even further back in time. In South Africa, for example, you can walk onto the scorned marks left by ice blocks as they dragged along the seabed 300 million years ago when the region was underwater and much closer to the South Pole. So those are actual drag marks. Those were done so slowly, too. Wow. Absolutely incredible, everybody. Absolutely incredible. It's crazy. So the reason I bring all this up to you today is because everybody's like, oh, well, global warming, what happens when the ice all melts and what's going to happen? And this is a representation of what could happen if all the ice around us melted and we can't stop it from happening, everybody. Like, it is massive, massive damage. Check this out. Here's what it would look like if all the Earth's ice melted. Now, it's showing you the world, okay, spinning round and round as a globe, of course. And we're spinning over to, this is Sydney, Adelaide, Perth. So this is what it looks like right now. You see all the blue showing up, Odyssey, Istanbul, Venice, Brussels. It's showing you all the spots, and it's also showing you what the water is doing to those spots. See how it's eroding everything? That was Dakar. Akura, Jedediah, Kuwait City, Mumbai. Oh my God, look at that city's gone. Calcutta, Bangkok is gone. Wow, Hong Kong, Shanghai, Beijing gets flooded. Everybody. Tokyo, there's almost nothing left. Here we go, South Korea. Look at it just disappear. Buenos Aires is gone. Rio de Janeiro. This is all music. I can't play it. Oh, here we go. There you go. San Diego, gone. San Francisco, cut in half. Portland, flooded. Seattle, gone. Here we go. Florida, Miami, gone. Florida's gone, everybody. New Orleans, gone. Charleston, gone. Houston, half gone. Havana, well, Texas is half gone. Houston's underwater. New York City is gone. Boston is completely gone. New Hampshire's right up in here. I think Vermont almost fully disappears, everybody. So, as you can see, if all the ice on the planet melted all at once, it would be complete and absolute devastation. Now, do I think that A23A is going to cause as much devastation as every single bit of ice on the planet melting all at the same time? No. Will there be a significant increase in our shorelines? That's a great question. Is this all because of weather manipulation, though? See, they want us to believe that this is all because of global warming, right? But how can we believe that it's global warming when they've manipulated the weather so much to do what they want it to, right? That's how we feel about the weather today. Oh, well, we're having another hurricane. We're having touchdowns of tornadoes for hours on end. Why? Right? Why are all these things happening? Well, it's obviously me and you, right? Obviously, it's me and you. We're causing it. Our carbon footprint is enormous. That I find hard to believe today. I actually believe that they manipulated and broke the weather, which is why one of the reasons that weather people are so good at predicting it now, because they literally are making it do whatever they want. But I believe that a lot of this stuff that's happening is a mixture of everything, okay? It's the actual planet warming up. It's the manipulation of weather by our government and higher up officials. And it's our carbon footprint, per se. All three of these are reasons why this is all happening. But when I saw that video of all the areas just disappearing, I was like, oh my God, where is New Hampshire? Where is New Hampshire? And when I found New Hampshire and Vermont was like gone, Boston was gone, I was like, holy shit. The chances of surviving it went way up for me. And I was like, okay, that's not too bad, as long as we're pretty accurate on how it's actually going to flood everything. But I don't see everything melting by the time I die. So it's not going to matter. But if you're out there and you're living in these areas, you may want to start heading inward. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know when this all could happen. Everything seems to be on this almost 100-year kick. And if we're almost 100 years into the next thing, I'm just saying, I'm just giving you a little heads up. It's time to move inward, everybody. Get away from those shorelines. Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, the world is doesn't care about us at all. Let's see. The U.S. is on high alert. China's largest nuclear reactor passes final test as global power tensions explode. China's Zhenghao nuclear power plant has achieved a critical milestone by completing a hot functional test for its second unit, paving the way for fuel loading and integration into national grid as the country advances its commitment to sustainable energy solutions amidst growing power demands. So it looks like China's hitting the mark of this endless power. They've hit the first mark on it, and they're getting ready to get this thing online. And this is crazy. Look at this power plant, everybody. I mean, it's massive. And it stands to be the advanced nuclear technology and a crucial step towards sustainable energy solutions. I mean, if they can pull it off, China's Zhenghao nuclear power plant completes a significant milestone with hot functional test and second unit. The plant aims to reduce reliance on fossil fuels, cutting carbon dioxide emissions by 8.16 million tons annually, equivalent to planting 70 million trees. The Honglu 1 reactor enhances China's global competitiveness in third-generation nuclear technology, serving as a model for sustainable energy solutions. With the plans for 6 reactors, the plant will generate over 10 billion kilowatt hours of clean electricity per reactor each year, supporting China's long-term energy strategy. I mean, this is fucking nuts, everybody. So this is an actual picture of the plant here. Dude, I mean, it's so crazy how we build this shit on the water. There was no land there, everybody. We put that there. Isn't that crazy? We are wild creatures, man. Wild creatures. I mean, we just put shit anywhere, everywhere. I mean, it is remarkable. You have to admit, when you look at what we do as people and what we build and construct, it's wild, man. It's wild. So Meta has a whistleblower that tells senators Facebook worked hand in glove with Chinese government to censor posts. Did anybody see that now, was it WhatsApp is completely 100% not capable of seeing, nobody can see what you're typing or doing or any of that thing. It's supposed to be fully encrypted from everybody except for you and the person that you're talking to. I have my doubts in this. I really do. I don't know if it's actually possible to do the things that they say that they're capable of doing. I still think they're capturing your information and they can still see it. I don't care what they say. Just like we all knew that we were all being censored at one moment in time by people who had no right to censor anybody.
We want to dive deeper into Meta's major retreat away from fact-checking. Meta, which operates Facebook, Instagram, and Threads, announced yesterday that it is ending its third-party fact-checking. That's where fact-checking was done by independent organizations in a program that was launched after widespread concerns about misinformation on Facebook ahead of the 2016 election. Meta will now have users try to police each other with community notes, similar to what X does, which Meta described in this way in a release. The community decides, quote, when posts are potentially misleading and need more context, and people across a diverse range of perspectives decide what sort of context is helpful for other users to see. So, in other words, if you see something, say something. The change is being criticized as political and an attempt to cozy up to the Trump administration. Zuckerberg did meet with Trump at Mar-a-Lago after the election, and Meta donated to Trump's inauguration campaign. So a lot has changed since Zuckerberg banned Trump from Facebook after January 6th. Zuckerberg took to his platform to explain his decision. Here's part of what he said.
We built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. More specifically.
All right. So we'll see what happens. Look, I'm not against the community pointing it out, but the community is a little too sensitive these days for me too. So how about we just post whatever the fuck we want and nobody gets to say boo about it? You know what I mean? Like, unless it's like actual execution videos or the S word that you're not supposed to say or something to that extent, if it's just stupid entertaining shit like what I do, flat earth, the Tartarians, the last of Earth days, the floods, whatever, warming, anything that like that should all be fair game. The other stuff I was mentioning, I know it's out there, but I'm not one of those people that enjoys that stuff. But yeah, so I mean, it's out there if you want to find it. You can find anything you want. But I still think the community being able to choose is the better direction. But sometimes I think the community can be a little too sensitive today. So be mindful of who you're reporting, okay? Because, I mean, if it wasn't, what's the word I'm looking for? Anonymous, then, if my content got banned, I would definitely be wanting to find out who banned me so that I could go back and ban them. So, I guess you're lucky that you get to stay anonymous. I still think that's one of the worst things about the internet is the fact that people can hide behind an anonymous unknown and still be able to do whatever. And that, I think, is one of the things that makes the internet great and horrible at the same time. So even though I'm going to say this, I still think it needs to be this way. But man, wouldn't it be nice if everybody had to actually put in their actual fucking selves, and then when you did something, people could actually call you out for it. But the fact that people can can hide and not show their true selves and cause chaos amongst the internet is just the way it's supposed to be, I guess. So it's like, I hate that part of it, but I understand it. But I mean, just imagine if those keyboard warriors actually had to put their asses on the line. You know what I mean? Yeah, they probably would hold off from saying or doing half of the things that they do. But I don't know. The whole thing with trying to figure out, what can go online, what can't, what da. It's just a whole bunch of bullshit at the end of the day. First of its kind. Stem cell transplant treatment in Boston restores vision to once blind patient. This is wild, everybody. I mean, we've given we did it with the chip, right? Did we do it with the chip or no? He could just do things and he couldn't with his mind. He could do things with his mind. He didn't get his vision back. But this guy got a transplant and now he can see everybody.
Nick Carufe will never forget July 4th, 2020.
One of the fireworks, it exploded on the ground outside instead of shooting up in the air.
It changed his life.
I took a direct hit to my left eye.
Oh my God.
I run inside, my mom looks at me, she literally passes out. So then I realized it was bad. A nurse from next door came over and she was like, "Oh, you lost your eye." So I started freaking out.
The accident happened at his home in California. It turns out the eye was still intact, but the cornea was burned.
I didn't really know what the future had in store for me. I couldn't see anything out of this eye. It was completely just whited over. So I kind of thought that was it for me.
Doctors wanted to remove his eye completely.
I was so against that because once I found out that the eye was still there, I figured there has to be a way to do something.
Nick decided to take a chance on a clinical trial here at Mass Eye and Ear, a procedure that's the first of its kind in the U.S.
The name of it is cultivated autologous limbal epithelial stem cell transplantation.
Dr.
Yeah.
Ula
Say that a
Yurkunis
few more
extracted
times.
stem cells from Nick's good eye, used them to grow new cells in a lab, then put them back in his injured eye, essentially healing it.
The main goal of this procedure is to restore the ocular surface and provide normal corneal surface for patients.
For Nick, he saw results almost immediately.
I took off the bandages and I was able to see the blue comforter, and then I looked out of my window and I was able to see the sky. And I remember I started crying. It was the craziest moment ever because I hadn't seen anything out of that eye in about 6 or 8 months.
Where your vision level now out of that eye?
I would say about 50%. Just the fact that they've been able to do this much to it is so crazy to me, and it even looks decently normal.
Dr. Yurkunis says the trial results have been groundbreaking, opening the door for new life-changing treatments.
We were extremely ecstatic to see that this procedure was almost 92% effective at 12 months and at 18 months after the surgery. So what that meant is the corneal surface was restored. Interestingly, almost 70% of patients also improved their vision.
It's really impressive what they've been able to do.
That's nuts, everybody. That's nuts, bro. We took cells from his good eye, grew a new one, put it on the old one, and now he can see? Holy shit, dude. I told you, we are in the future, everybody. This is the time to be alive. Holy shit. We just restored somebody's vision from a firework that blew out his eye. Well, he didn't blow it out. It burned it. Burned the cornea. Wow. I mean, man, when you were blind, you were blind. You remember those days? Now when you're blind, you might have an opportunity to get 50% of your vision back. Whew. This is a crazy time to be alive. That is insane, man. Wow. Crazy, dude. So the DOJ Coast Guard bust $500 million in cocaine tied to the cartels, dude. How many people died for this? Dude, there was a family tied up, and this guy was told, you have to make this delivery or every single one of the people that you love dies. And now this guy is sitting in a cell. The cocaine is now confiscated, and his entire family's dead. Oh my God. I mean, isn't that how that story goes? Isn't it? I don't know, but this is wild, dude. $500 million in cocaine. My cousin is Coast Guard. I don't know if he had anything to do with this, but man, this is fucking wild.
This operation is an example of the unprecedented collaboration between the military and the Department of Justice components, working closely with the U.S. Coast Guard. And look at all these great men and women in the Coast Guard. Thank you so much for your dedication. This is a textbook example of the Justice Department supporting the fight against violent crime. These drugs are worth over $500 million.
God damn.
Almost 45,000 pounds of cocaine, pure cocaine, uncut, and 3,800 pounds of marijuana.
How many?
Congratulations again to the Coast Guard. You have done incredible work, Admiral, and your team, Captain, in securing these drugs. This team, with all the agencies I just mentioned, used drones, aircraft, and ships to interdict the traffickers off the coast of Peru, Ecuador, and the Galapagos Islands.
Okay, yeah.
What they did saved countless American lives.
I disagree with that. That didn't save countless American lives. It was uncut. That stuff was safe. That's what we used to do. The uncut shit. Holy shit, it does still exist. The problem is it's going to land in the U.S. or wherever the fuck it was going, and they're going to cut the shit out of it with fentanyl and all the rest of the bullshit. Then it goes out to the streets, and then people die. So, man, if we could just get our hands on this shit again, everybody would be safe. This is why I say legalize drugs and make it safe again. Make drugs safe again, everybody. Let's make drugs safe again, right? I want pure, uncut cocaine, everybody. Pure, uncut cocaine. That's what I want. How many pounds of marijuana was it? Was it 300? That's just a waste of your time. Just pass that out to everybody that helped. That's the prize for fucking capturing the coke, right? We're going to have a beer and what was that? A bump. A beer and a bump. That's what cures everything. Fucking A, dude. Pure, uncut cocaine, though, huh? Holy shit, I haven't heard those words put together in a long time. Damn. Pentagon says it has accepted the Boeing jet from Qatar that will be used for Trump. Here's where I'm at with this plane. Has anybody heard of the Trojan Horse? Anybody? Yeah? Do you know the story of the Trojan Horse? Well, I can't tell you the names of the two people that were fighting, but it was the Trojans, right? The Trojans and the Spartans, was it? I don't know. I could be right, I could be wrong, or the Trojans are the Spartans. I don't know. But anyways, they were fighting somebody. They couldn't get over the wall or couldn't get in, so they decided to make a peace treaty type of situation. And it was a peace offering. So they made him a giant wooden horse. Giant wooden horse. They rolled it through the gates. Oh, we're so sorry. Let's stop fighting. Absolutely. That sounds great. Thank you for the gift. You have yourself a wonderful night, and we're not going to fight you guys anymore. Thank you for the peace treaty. Everybody goes to sleep, and everybody inside the horse wakes up. And they come out of the horse and they slaughter the entire village or whatever, castle or whatever, and they take it over. That's what I think this plane is from Qatar. I think it's a Trojan horse. Look, we are dealing with something far different today than we ever have. Now, you don't need 150 men stuffed into a horse to take out the inside of a castle or village to take it over. All you need is a teeny tiny device, probably no bigger than a quarter, that can evaporate that entire plane and everybody inside of it in a matter of seconds. They're not going to evaporate that plane at the White House because they know it'll never get parked there. But they know, or they will know when the president's boarding. You're going to tell me that, did they look over every goddamn inch of that? Do the people that we got the plane from have technology that we don't know about yet? It's possible. Don't you sit there and tell me these guys are not as smart or as head as we are. Bullshit. This entire planet is moving quite rapidly. So who are we to say that they didn't put something in that plane that we can't detect that may or may not end Trump's presidency? I'm just saying, should we be trusting these people? I think the answer is, I'm going to have to say the correct answer is no. No. We're not supposed to be even thinking that these people are going to be. I don't believe it. There's something afoot here, and the fact that he accepted it worries me. I think it should worry most of us. But, I guess it would be kind of stupid of them to do something like that. But if it could cause something catastrophic, it's not going to matter if we know who we can point the finger at that point. If they pull something off, they're going to be like, yeah, we fucking did that. So it's not going to matter, right? It's not going to matter if we can point the finger at the bad guy. If the bad guy's going, yeah, I did it. You guys are stupid. You accepted my plane. You know what I mean? It's just a Trojan horse. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But, Rubio definitely knows more than he's saying he doesn't. These people are going to lie to the very fucking end, everybody. To the very end. Now, Putin has come up with something, and I guess he's letting everybody know how real Tartaria is. Now, I'm only going to be able to read this, but I thought it was interesting, and I'm going to try and read through it relatively quickly without mumbling or having too many hiccups here. But Tartaria revealed, Putin unleashes the Forbidden Empire. The world just changed forever. Russian President Vladimir Putin has declassified explosive Tartaria archives, unearthing a colossal empire that was systematically erased from global memory. The moment this happened, Western historians went silent, and for good reason. Tartaria wasn't a myth. It was the largest empire on the earth, spanning from the Urals to Africa, New Earth to Tibet. Its peoples weren't savages. They were spiritually advanced, morally grounded, and technologically ahead of their time. They lived by virtue, honor, and ancestral power. Blue-eyed, red-haired warriors who valued family, justice, and the sacred bloodline. These were not primitive tribes. These were Slavic Aryan titans. And now their memory is being restored. The first edition of the Encyclopedia Britannica, 1771, called Tartaria a dominant force in northern Asia. But after the 18th century, it vanished. Not by accident, but by design. Later editions wiped Tartaria clean. The greatest historical cover-up in human history. Why was it erased? Because Tartaria stood against the controlled systems of the Vatican and the Romanovs and the global banking dynasties and the cabal that would later shape the West. Tartaria was free, self-sufficient, non-centralized, rooted in the ancestral energy. That's the one thing the deep state fears most. Yep, absolutely. Like I said, this is a long read. Putin's move to resurrect Tartaria is more than historical correction. It's a strike against the globalist script. Russia is now rewriting its entire history, curriculum, purging West historians, and restoring its true legacy. This is a paradigm shift, a cultural nuke detonated in plain sight. The release of Tartaria documents isn't just for scholars. It's a clarion call for spiritual war. The world's timeline is being shattered. The illusion of collapsing, and with it, the old guard's grip on our past. Tartaria isn't dead. It was buried. Now it's rising. The Forbidden Empire returns. The truth has awakened. The storm is not coming. It's here, everybody. It's here. Well, everybody, that is wild. Putin is letting everybody know that Tartaria was real. It was real, everybody. Isn't that crazy? If this is true, and it was real, it would explain so much. Which is why I'm kind of excited for this. But is Putin really doing it? And that just goes to show you Tartaria was everywhere. Everywhere. It wasn't just here. Technically, here was all ice at that time. So they probably wouldn't have been here. They would have only been in those other areas. But we do have some stuff left behind here that we cannot explain that could be from them as well. So maybe the land was there and then the ice showed up, and who knows, man? Who knows? But I want to believe in Tartaria, in the Tartarians, more than I want to believe in Bigfoot and UFOs. To be real, this would explain so much more about our gravity, about where we came from, about the simple fact that we've already done this shit over and over and over again, and they were more advanced than we are today. That's cool, man. That's cool. To actually learn of what we lost, instead of pretending like what we're doing is the best we've ever done, right? Now, my last stuff that I'm bringing in here today, I have been going down this friggin' rabbit hole. Man, I am telling you, I think we were all duped. We were all duped, man. And now, let me start off with, I understand that every video can be doctored. This is all for entertainment purposes only. But I think we were duped. I think we were duped, everybody. I don't believe anymore, or I'm having trouble believing. Let me word it that way. I don't think 9/11 was a outside job anymore. I'm having trouble with it, everybody. I'm having trouble with it like I had trouble with the moon landing, with the fact that the earth is round, the fact that the Tartarians aren't real. I am having a lot of trouble with all of those situations, and this 9/11 one's no different, man. We are starting to see a lot of stuff popping up that shows and proves that it's very possible that this was done deliberately and by our own people. Yeah. And I think we wanted to blame somebody else because we wanted control of the oil, the poppy seeds, and everything else that we took control over. That was the plan, was to get what we got. We didn't go over there for 20 some odd years for no reason. We just were told that. We were there for a reason. We made all this happen. But check out some of these videos because this is wild. Why didn't we see these videos in the mainstream media loop on 9/11? I don't know, but let's check it out.
Bomb, I saw it. No plane hit nothing.
That is not a plane. They don't know what they're talking about. How would they see a plane hit that?
Dude, I saw the second explosion. That was no plane that hit the second building. It exploded from the inside out.
It was a bomb. Bomb in another building, not second plane. That was a bomb.
Who said the second plane?
That's what we're told. The second plane, we saw it on television.
Everything.
All right. Thanks a lot.
What happened was I was down in the basement. All of a sudden we heard a loud bang. And the elevator doors blew open. Some guy was burnt up. So I dragged him out. His skin was all hanging off. So I dragged him out and I pulled him out of the parking lot. This was what was left on it. Pulled him out. When I pulled him out, I looked up and the second bomb blew off. Just saw a big burst.
All of a sudden, you heard a loud explosion. So we all ran to look. And the first building was a big hole on the side of it, and on the other side went in flames. So we stood there in shock. Everyone's screaming. A woman collapsed on me. I had to lay her down on my textbooks. And then before you know it, out of nowhere, the next building blew up. And then all of a sudden, everyone's running all over the place, a panic attack.
We actually didn't see the second plane, but we saw the explosion hit the other tower.
It has to be a bomb, right?
Yes, of course. That exploded right in front of us.
I did not see a plane. They said the plane hit the first building. The second building just exploded.
That looks like a second plane.
I did not see a plane go in. That just exploded.
Dude, this is crazy. More and more of this is showing up. Now, I watched this live on television while I was at work, and I swear to God, when I was watching it on TV, I saw a plane go into the building. Because we turned it on. The first one was smoking. And then you are looking at the second one, and then you just see this little black bloop, and boom. But everybody's saying they didn't see a plane. There was no plane parts at the Pentagon. And then there's this. Now look at 40 floors below the fire that I'm about to show you.
Another element suggesting controlled demolitions are the so-called squibs, the puffs of debris that were noticed on the sides of both towers as the collapses took place. Squibs occur in controlled demolitions when concrete is forcefully expelled from the building by the explosions occurring inside.
The individual explosions that I noticed 20 and 30 and 40 stories below the collapsing structure, those are what we demolitions guys call squibs. And that's another characteristic that seems to be evident.
The debunkers forget that several squibs were observed 20, 30, or 40 floors below the level of the collapse, in an area where the floors above were still perfectly intact. There is no smoke or concrete to be pushed out here when the collapse has only reached this level at this point.
Right.
But elevators and stairs have doors at almost every floor. Had there been such a strong compression from above, it would have pushed with equal force on all the floors below, not just the one where the squib occurred. In any case, this is clearly not broken glass. Glass fragments from a window would not even be visible from such a distance. These are high-speed ejections of concrete and other solid debris, which can only be explained by a powerful explosion having occurred nearby. There is even one case in which the expulsion of material, and possibly a human being, takes place before the collapse has begun.
Whoa. Dude, I'm so sorry, everybody. I don't know. I don't know. I know that 9/11 was absolutely horrific. I know that it was terrible. But I'm starting not to believe that it was what they told me it was. I'm starting to believe that our own government sacrificed all those people's lives because they were hiding the financials. They were hiding the money, everybody. Our government has been hiding the money from us for a long time. They never want to give it back to us. We're never going to get it. We're all going to be squeezed until we're dead. And we can't make it. And these guys literally killed thousands and thousands of people to bury paperwork and trails of stolen money. There was no planes. There was no moon landing. That's where I'm at today. Crazy, crazy dude. Well, everybody, on that note, I hope you had as much fun as I did. Again, I just want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. You are what keeps me coming back week after week. If you're new, remember to subscribe. You want an opportunity Talkinwithtopher at gmail.com. Send an audio, video, or type it out. Linktree is in the description below the video, along with all links discussed in this podcast today. And I just hope you all have an amazing rest of your Thursday. Enjoy your weekend, and I will talk to you later.